Hello students, this lecture is for grade 8 science and today we will continue our chapter number 2 which is microorganisms friend or foe, and the topic which we will discuss today is nitrogen fixation and nitrogen cycle. It is the last one topic of the chapter 2. So, सबसे पहली thing that why nitrogen is important. As you know, nitrogen is essential for all living things because it is the major part of amino acids which are the building blocks of proteins and the nucleic acids such as DNA, which transfers genetic information to subsequent generations of organisms. If we discuss in easy language, then nitrogen is very much important for us as nitrogen is the basic element for the protein and protein breakdown in our body in the form of nucleic acid. With it, nitrogen is essential for DNA, and DNA is the nucleic material which transfer genetic information generation to generation. So all kind of living organisms, either they are plants, animals or microbes, need nitrogen essentially. So all living things, either they are plants, animals or microbes, are using nitrogen continuously from the atmosphere, but the amount of nitrogen is fixed in atmosphere. How? Let me tell you. It is due to biogeochemical cycles. So, what are biogeochemical cycles? A biogeochemical cycle is one of the several natural cycles which is running in our atmosphere, in which conserved matter moves through the biotic or living components to the abiotic or non-living components of an ecosystem. Some matter like oxygen, carbon, nitrogen and water etc. are very essential for all kind of living organisms. So, the biogeochemical cycle is responsible for the moving of matter from a biotic part to the biotic part of environment. इनमें से बायोटिक कंपोनेंट तो लिविंग ऑर्गेनिजम्स है एंड अबायोटिक कंपोनेंट्स में आते हैं एयर, सनलाइट, टेम्परेचर एंड ऑल द थिंग्स. सो एसेंशियल एलिमेंट्स का लिविंग थिंग्स के थ्रू नॉन लिविंग थिंग्स में ट्रांसफ़र होना बायोजियोकेमिकल साइकिल के थ्रू होता है. Some examples of biogeochemical cycles are water cycle. You know very well about water cycle, carbon cycle, nitrogen cycle, oxygen cycle and so many more. Biogeochemical cycles are very important because they regulate the elements necessary for life on earth by cycling them through biological and physical aspects of the world. As I told you that biogeochemical cycles are responsible to fix the essential element for life on earth, so they are very important for us. With it, biogeochemical cycles are a form of natural recycling that allows the continuous survival of ecosystem. लाइफ की सर्वाइवल अर्थ पर इन बायोजियोकेमिकल साइकिल्स के थ्रू पॉसिबल होती है. नाउ नाइट्रोजन. Nitrogen is present in 78% in atmosphere. You know about it, but it is not in usable form. It is in the form of N2 gas present in the atmosphere, but it is in form of N2 is not usable for living organisms. So how can we use this nitrogen? So we can only use this nitrogen in the form of nitrogenous compounds, not in N2 form. And for this we have to convert this nitrogen into nitrogenous compound, which is the usable form of nitrogen for living beings. And in nature, nitrogen cycle is responsible to convert the atmospheric nitrogen into usable form of nitrogenous compounds for living beings. So let's start the nitrogen cycle, which is responsible for fixing the atmospheric nitrogen into usable nitrogenous compound for us. Nitrogen cycle completes into 5 steps, in which first step is nitrogen fixation, in which atmospheric nitrogen which is present in the form of N2 is converts into NH3 or ammonia or NH4 plus or ammonium ions or NO3 minus or nitrates. The second step for nitrogen cycle is nitrification, in which ammonia or NH3 is converts into NO3 minus or nitrates. And the third step for nitrogen cycle is assimilation, in which incorporation of this ammonia, NH3 and NO3 minus nitrates into biological tissues. Means इस थर्ड स्टेप में ये नाइट्रोजन बायोलॉजिकल टिश्यूज़ में इंटर करती है, मीन्स लिविंग ऑर्गेनिजम्स में इंटर करती है. द फोर्थ स्टेप इज अमोनिफिकेशन. अमोनिफिकेशन इज द स्टेप ऑफ converting organic nitrogen compound into ammonia again. And the fifth step is denitrification, by which these nitrogenous compounds or nitrates are again converted into N2 gas and released into atmosphere. So ये तो हुई नाइट्रोजन साइकिल की स्टेप्स. नाउ नाइट्रोजन साइकिल. In nitrogen cycle, the atmospheric nitrogen, which is not in usable form for living organisms, is converts into usable form of living organism for nitrogen fixing, which is done by lightning. Lightning means बिजली का चमकना. Due to lightning and due to nitrogen fixing bacteria such as rhizobium. Rhizobium के बारे में हमने पढ़ा है. And blue green algae present in the atmosphere that fix the nitrogen in the nitrogenous compounds. And now the bacteria in turn fix nitrogen into nitrogenous compound by nitrification process. And now the compound of nitrogen is present in the soil. Now third step of nitrogen cycle, which is assimilation, and by assimilation process these compounds of nitrogen uptake by plant, and by plant they uptake by animals, and in the form of nitrogenous waste. By the process of excretion the nitrogenous compound are regained by soil, and after death of living organisms the nitrogenous compounds again releasing in the soil. Now from the soil bacteria turn compounds of nitrogen into gaseous nitrogen by ammonification process of nitrogen cycle. And from there the nitrogen again reaches in the atmosphere with the process known as denitrification. And this nitrogen cycle is continue in the nature. So it is all about today. Thank you.